Good afternoon. Well, it appears that the IRS owes an apology to Kent Hovind. If you remember the debate between Rudy and the anti-Kent Hovind activist, the activist was claiming that the bulk of the laws that the Kent Hovind was responsible for breaking were dealing with the structuring laws. And clearly the structuring laws were being abused by the IRS. They were set up to deal with drug deals and money laundering. And there's a recent article here that they just put out on Yahoo. IRS apologizes for seizing bank accounts of small businesses. IRS apologizes for using bank secrecy law to seize accounts of law-abiding small business. And the article goes on here to say, pressured by Congress, the IRS said Wednesday it is changing its policies and apologizing for seizing bank accounts from otherwise law-abiding business owners simply because they structured bank transactions to avoid federal reporting requirements. The alleged crime, routinely making bank deposits of less than $10,000, that allowed the business owners to avoid reporting bank requirements designed to catch drug dealers and money launderers. Wasn't meant to catch law-abiding citizens or pastors, ministers, and small business owners. IRS Commissioner John Koliskin told Congress that the IRS is changing policies to prevent the seizures as long as the money came from legal means. That's what Kent Hovind's money came from. It was legal money. To anyone who's not been treated fairly under the code, I apologize. He needs to apologize to Kent Hovind and get him out of prison. Koliskin told the House Ways and Means Oversight Subcommittee taxpayers have to be comfortable that they will be treated fairly. By law, bank transactions above $10,000 must be reported to IRS. It's a felony called structuring to manage transactions to avoid the reporting requirement, even if the money is legally earned. So they can catch you even if the money is legally earned, even though it was set up to catch illegally earned money. In some cases, the IRS seized and held bank accounts for years without bringing charges. Koliskin said he didn't know how many cases the new policy would affect. He said the IRS seized a total of 147 counts last year, including those in which the money was illegally obtained. On average, over the last several years, it was less than 200 cases. Koliskin said in 60% of those cases, the owner of the assets never show up, which shows they obviously had a criminal activity going on. See the mindset? No, maybe they didn't want to deal with the IRS. Doesn't mean they were criminals. The Treasury Inspector General for the Tax Administration has launched an audit of the IRS seizure program. He goes on here and says here the head of the chairman of the Ways and Means Oversight Subcommittee said the IRS has too much power to seize assets even if the agency doesn't have adequate evidence of a crime. The IRS doesn't have to give notice to the account holder before seizing the assets. And the IRS doesn't have to prove that the person is actually guilty of anything, just that the account probably is involved in structuring, Rockham said. And then he goes on to an example of that about a Georgia gun owner who was caught up in this. So the IRS, in fact, it was involved in essentially a extortion racket and involved in their own criminal activity, forcing law-abiding citizens to pony up on their money if they wanted any of their money back. And they were able to keep this money from the forfeitures portion of their money by terrorizing law-abiding citizens. Remember, this is the anti-Kent Hovind activist who was claiming that Kent Hovind, this was really the central bulk or the core of the case against Kent Hovind. And it appears now that in fact it's the IRS who is actually the criminals. And they, in fact, have now had to back up and apologize. And there was certainly one individual who they certainly need to apologize to is Kent Hovind. Amen. Thank you.